Very pleased not to be joined here at SB Nation by the one and only, the internationally famous, the dashing, the debonair, educated from the finest school in the world, and that is Arizona State University. It is ESPN's Matt Barrie, TGL's Matt Barrie, and a lot of people's Matt Barrie. I suppose right now, our Matt Barrie. Matt, how goes it?
Yeah, RJ, right now, like I'm all yours at SB Nation. Of all the other things I'm running around doing, that this moment right here and now is for the two of us.
That's beautiful. So I want to get your thoughts on a lot of TGL things, obviously, but I want to start. I was coming through some old tweets of yours, and this might have been a pandemic thought. Do you recall how you ranked the best showers?
Yes. Okay. First shower, I'd be stunned if I didn't rank it post yard work shower.
That's number 2. So you know yourself well, but not as well as you possibly could.
Number 1, oh, is it post golf shower?
It is, yeah, post golf. So my question, well, just to round out the list, so everybody's aware. Number 3 was midday, midwinter. I live in South Texas, so that doesn't hit for me the same way it does for you, but I respect it nonetheless. Number 4 was morning after, in your words, a few hundred cocktails. And number 5 was any while in Vegas. So any time of day,
Yeah. Actually, that one probably got disrespected a little bit. That's probably more of a top 3 shower, because when you're in Vegas and if you're doing Vegas right, like you need a shower at any given point to just get back in it.
Yeah, I agree. You clearly have a lot of respect for Vegas because you tagged them. You tagged Vegas in the tweet. So you wanted the city to know that you were.
I believe they hit me back. The Vegas handle would hit me back on a bunch of stuff. Vegas knows my affinity for their fine town.
That's wonderful. So, well, congratulations on that. But so you said number 1 was post golf. I agree with that completely. It is similar to post yard work. I'm not going to knock you too much for that. But is a post TGL shower the same, or do you have to be in the elements to be able to achieve that satisfaction?
It's all elements. Like we keep SoFi Center nice and comfortable, usually around 68 degrees, and then it fills up with people. There's no elements in here. It's actually a perfect room temperature. So post TGL shower is not a thing. However, yesterday, Sunday, I did final round coverage out at the Cognizant right up the road, and it's been hot here in Florida. So I had to do Cognizant, shower here at SoFi, and then get ready for TGL later in the night. So there was kind of a pre-TGL post-golf shower that took place here.
Yeah, that's the best of both worlds, because then you get to still experience more golf through the specification of the environment and whatnot. You detailed it well. I'm curious, dating all the way back to the first conversation you ever had about TGL, how was it sold to you? Like, what were you described? Like, what was the setting or the environment? Was there a hammer involved in that initial conversation? Like, what was it that got you on board?
Yeah, I don't know that it was TGL selling itself to me as much as it was me selling myself to TGL, that I thought that I'd be a good fit for it. Because candidly, I knew what the concept was, but I didn't know what it was. And I just thought that it would be a good fit. I do our golf coverage at the Masters and the PGAs. I've always been a golf fan. And I just thought it was a good fit, just personality wise and everything the show was trying to do. So it was kind of me saying, hey, like I'm your guy. Like I want to do this. And fortunately enough for me, they agreed. And so from the beginning, from the outset I remember seeing this indoor golf league. I specifically remember the release. And then I remember seeing that ESPN was going to televise it. And the second I did that, I hit up my agent, Jim Ornstein at WME. I'm like, man, I want to do this. Like, this sounds fun. And then we just went about it. Conversations went with Jeff Newbarth and Mike McCarley, and it ended up being a great thing because both of them, we work so well together, and those conversations now, blessing in disguise that it happened.
That's wonderful. And I'm a big believer that that passion drives the best product in anything, whether it's television or sports or, my son loves Legos, like those types of things. Like if you're passionate about something, like that's going to come through it. And I think that comes through the broadcast. And I cover the Dallas Cowboys in addition to golf. And so I have found that golf sits so well for me in an NFL offseason. And it seems like for you, you have the right kind of just personality and your own interests in life. Like you talked about loving golf and whatnot, that this was Matt Barrie in every single sense, like everything about what TGL is and represents and the opportunities and the fun. And that's what comes across to the show, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, because I tell people all the time, like, we're not landing planes, we're not clipping ACLs and
Right.
removing gallbladders. We're talking about sports, right? And so until something becomes, and it does in our industry, there is the unfortunate part of life or death in anything, and sometimes it happens in sports. But if it's not that, let's have fun.
Right.
And I think that if it comes off that I'm having a good time doing my job, the players understand that I'm having fun because they can hear everything I say. I hear everything they say. And if we can all have fun together and then add in a competitive component, I mean, that's just good TV. I mean, these guys are so focused during regular PGA Tour tournaments. They're with them and their caddy, and they're trying to make the cut through Friday, and then they're trying to win the tournament through Sunday. And it's a grind. It's grind, 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 grind. They're just here. Well, if they can come in here in a team atmosphere and have fun golfing with their peers, and we get to let the viewer in on that. I mean, let's have as much fun as possible. I've said it before, like TGL's eye candy.
Yeah.
Let's bring it home and let's entertain people in a fast style of primetime team golf.
I think that is really wise and really speaks to the magic of TGL. I think when players let their guard down, when they just recognize it, it's fun, those are the best moments, and those are the ones that viewers enjoy the most. Neil Shipley's ace is kind of one of those. It just naturally puts everyone out of their comfort zone.
Well, and again, they're not mic'd up during a PGA Tour tournament, so I don't know that viewers know how good of personalities all these guys have, because
Right.
they don't get an opportunity to show it, because again, they're kind of trained golf assassins to where they're out there to win the tournament. Well, here you're here to win the game that night, but you can let people in, and I think it's helped the popularity of a lot of these players that maybe kids that don't follow golf love TGL because of the video game aspect of it, and then they end up laughing at something Justin Thomas or someone says, and that helps because now you got a Justin Thomas fan that didn't know about Justin Thomas on tour but knows about Justin Thomas TGL, and I think we're seeing that.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned JT obviously plays for Atlanta. I think maybe there's a Falcons fan that just jumps and says Arthur Blank is involved. There's any kind of connection that somebody can make. I think a lot of people wonder what the origin story is behind the teams being assembled the way they are. But the fact is someone comes from some place and somewhere, and then now they have a team. And I think that's a big aspect to this is you want to have some stakes involved. You want to have some level of ownership, and that makes it fun in a way that allows everyone to feel like it is a team sport that's happening while their favorite individuals are playing as well.
Yeah, and it's brand new, and the people that got into this, they don't fail. I mean, Arthur Blank, John Henry, Steve Cohen, Alexis Ohanian, like Serena Williams. I mean, they typically don't miss, and so that to me was the biggest indicator that this thing is going to work. Is that the investors and the franchises they're in on it, and Tiger and Rory put their name on it. I mean, what else do you need? So it's been interesting to see people kind of see it at first, try it out, and then start identifying themselves with the team that they like and the players that they like, and watch it grow from there.
The viewers won't know because we'll edit it out, but we actually had some connection issues, and you were a pro, Matt, because that's what you do. What has it been like to watch these fantastic athletes deal with stuff like that? Just you don't know, like sometimes the earpiece is out, sometimes whatever, and I think we saw a lot of that during COVID when there was all sorts of stuff kind of along these lines. But that has to have been interesting, at the very least from your perspective, to say, I didn't know Justin Rose was that smooth. I didn't know Colin Morikawa could handle this little bump in the road.
Yeah, look, I tell a lot of people about this, that we were all learning together.
Mm-hmm.
From the TV technical side of it, I understand it, and I understood it because it's what I do. So I'm good at rolling with punches when there's a TV glitch, because it happens. I mean, it's part of the job. But watching them adjust to a lot of things, if there's a technology glitch in the arena, or something happens, or they can't hear me, or there's an awkward moment, I think it was just kind of everyone, we're in this together. Show one for me was show one for them. And as we, get through show, what is this, 20? No, shit, we're more than that, about 30 something. Like, I mean, that's what it is, and that's how you kind of adjust to it. And so watching them learn to trust us more and be involved in the television product, the growth of everything from the league to the players in our broadcast, and just all of us as a crew has been fantastic.
You're right. I think that's those little steps matter, and they lead to the final product down the road. And Neil Shipley's ace is kind of an easy one, but that's one of those like my last two questions on seminal moments. On Neil's ace, did you know like this is a moment that this is an inflection point for TGL because it's something that people can stick with?
Yeah, because it never happened. We'd never had one in TGL. And I remember in our production meeting that day, the yardage was set up where it's like I think it was 110 yards or something like that. I said, guys, watch out for an ace tonight because they're going to know the number. They're going to know how to pull it back. They can play it and shoot around. And so 110 yards for these guys is an easy shot. So if there was one that was going to happen, you thought maybe, but we had never happened. So it happens in warm-ups all the time. And then with Shipley and the reaction and Minwoo Lee and Luke Clanton and just the genuine excitement and joy when it happened, that's not fake. That's genuine. Right. They were legitimately excited that happened. And you're right. Social media picked it up and it just became one of those moments where you're like, that was fun to watch. Same with the Justin Rose Albatross. It was another one. I mean, there's so many moments in TGL's first two seasons that you can point out on social media that have made its mark. And I think that's what's been good for the league.
At what point did you feel like hammer thrown was a thing? Like, because it is a thing. It's part of the TGL lore now. Like at what point, because it's a part of the lore. Like, was it like the fifth time you said it? Like when did you have that sort of self-realization?
No, I think it was just the first couple of matches when they threw the hammer. I was just like hammer thrown. And then people would start saying it to me and then we'd start having fun with it. And then I was like, oh, I mean, it's hammer thrown. That's that's it. That's just what's going to be said. And so it just ended up working out that way where you don't realize it when you're saying it. And then the more you say it, it then catches on. And now you're right. It's part of it. I mean, you wait for it. I see it come out. I give a hammer thrown and it just I do it, group text with my buddies now. If there's an argument or something going on, I just throw out hammer thrown. It's been fun to say it. It's been fun to watch it develop. And like I say to everybody, the players are the biggest stars, but the hammer is star 1A.
It's interesting in that the strategy is so debated. You do a lot of football, right? Like there's analytics in sports everywhere. And so people are in on I spoke to Neil Shipley about that and understanding when the right moments are and measuring the emotion on the other side, whether it's going to be picked up or whatnot. I want to close with ASU, if I may, Matt. Yeah. You're a professional broadcaster and on the subject of handling disconnections and things like that. The job you all did in San Marcos, not this past season, but the year before with that crazy overtime thing was so dumb and stupid. I'm glad it worked out. But you had the line that I've loved most about the Kenny rise, in that you said you were sick of hearing about how ASU was a sleeping giant. Mm-hmm. So do you feel like the giant is alert and awake now and has not gone back to bed?
The giant is definitely out of its nap and it's still a little tired, but I don't think
post-snap grog, like waking up.
Right, exactly. And I think a couple more Celsius, that thing's going to be awake for a while. Look, we got ahead of ourselves and it's fine because it was a season to remember. And that's why I always tell everyone, like, enjoy the season you're in because you never know if that's going to happen again. And that's what we had with Scatterbo in the playoff and the run in the Texas game. But that naturally set expectations for the next year because we had everybody coming back minus Cam and a couple of other players. But that set the expectation to a level that I want ASU football to be set. I want ASU football year in and year out to be among the top 3 teams discussed to win the Big 12 championship. Like that's the floor. Like you're a Big 12 champion contender year in and year out. And I think Kenny's found a way to tap into what it's going to take to do it. It's not an easy place to do it. I think you're finally starting to see people commit to it. The university, Dr. Cronin, would take it seriously. And he's recruiting at a high level. Offensive players want to come play for him. It's just now ASU fans have to understand, doing college football at ESPN, I'm around everybody and around every conference. So I see the biggest programs up close and personal. That ASU fans have to understand, like, that's what it takes. And you need to hold yourself to a higher standard. And we've started to do that. And Kenny's the guy for the job. I mean, the Michigan stuff was never serious. They threw out his name and social media catches wildfire. It's going to happen every year. Every year, Kenny's going to get brought up for a job every single year, and that means he's doing it right. But I firmly believe that we have the guy to take ASU football into this 12-team playoff era, where every year we had a lot of injuries last year, but every year ASU is going to be talked among the Big 12's elite.
I completely agree. The cope I've given myself is that losing the Peach Bowl, while it was horrible, was maybe best long term. I think they probably, like, maybe Kenny gets plucked, maybe Sam Levitt leaves. Not that I don't want to go on Sam Levitt, but like things may not have been. The next step would not have been taken the right way in 25 had we won that game. Who knows what happens, obviously, beyond that. So I don't know that it's cope as much as it's just maturation after the fact. To fully close and bring this full circle, if ASU football was a TGL team, who would they be and why?
Oh, gosh. That's a good question, because they party like Jupiter Lynx. They've got the swagger of Jupiter Lynx, but Jupiter Lynx doesn't win a lot. Atlanta. I like them for Atlanta. They're just that kind of team that's they got some firepower. They have the personality, because the head coach has the personality, and they have what it takes to win anytime that they're out there. So I'll give them Atlanta. Now they were the Big 12 champions, so they are a champion like Atlanta. So I'm going to give them a little bit of that swagger to go into the new season.
Yeah, and the side of the Peach Bowl, obviously, we don't have to fully go there. Maybe Chris Goddard is ASU's version of Cutter Bowley, right? Like newcomer, going to take things by storm. We can make this work. We can workshop it. Matt, you're the man. Appreciate you powering through the technical difficulties. You've made TGL so awesome and everything you've been doing.
Appreciate that, RJ. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.